down front together.
Apollo. Then help me check if this one they capture it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the sixth floor, the conference hall. And we feel very grateful to our Ms. Xie and the other people who helped us. Also the Jiajian e-commerce company. They helped us organize this great event, the Nigerian graduate farewell here. Now we're entering the third phase. First of all, I would like to invite our Honorable Pablo to give his introduction. And then there will be an honorable graduate speech, and then to the Prof, Prof. Balogun. Let's welcome Pablo.
Upon the greatest Nigerian students, upon the greatest unintimidated Nigerian students, overcautious Nigerian students. The time is fast spent. Distinguished guests, more especially keynote speaker, my father, my leader, and mentor. Not just for me, I know many of us see him as our mentor. No other person than Professor Balogun. Our esteemed partners, the Hunan e-commerce building company, we want to thank you for clinical this project, and we are grateful. Nigerian graduate class of 2025, the PhD scholars, the master scholars, and the undergraduate scholars, we are indeed grateful for you coming out here, and more especially to those who are here to graduate, but have made it a call to duty to be here. I want to say thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a press here, but you can see the press team. And also to our Chinese counterparts, thank you for gracing this occasion. It is all pleasure that I'm on behalf of the organizing committee, and I want to welcome us to the 2025 Nigerian Graduate Farewell Seminar. Your presence here today, not just as graduates, but those who see the future beyond just studying in China. Graduate transition to new horizons, industry leaders, shaping opportunities and institutions, investing in talent, transforms this gathering into to be epoch-making one. A special salute to our reverend leader who has made this venue a successful one. There are two things in life. You call someone to be your speaker for an event. The person will go home and sit down and wait for the TV. Then there's a second one. You will call someone to be your speaker, and that person will take the bull by the horn. The person will see that project, your project as his own project. That's why I'm emphasizing that. Say thank you to our Prof. Please, I want us to jam our hands together. To all partnering brands, companies, your presence signifies trust in African future and the value of single African synergy. We welcome your engagement and applaud your investment in tomorrow's leaders. Why this topic matters? Your role as pioneers. On today's theme, navigating your way in and out of China after capitalism. It's not merely procedural, it is a strategic, urgent, and deeply personal. Here is why. I have 4 key points. The first one, you are geopolitical bridges. As graduates of Chinese institution, you embody the people-to-people pillar of China-African relations. Whether you stay in China, return to Nigeria, or explore global opportunities, your cross-cultural influencer positions you to future mutual understanding business ideas. I was speaking with one of us earlier today. I told him that at first in China, the outside world sees you as a business person. You may think you want to do that work forever. But at first in China, you are a businessman, whether you like it or yes. The second is to navigate systems. We need to seize the sovereignty. The Anuta spirit teaches us that knowledge is power only when applied. Understanding visa policy, job markets, and entrepreneurial ecosystems. In today's event, we'll be able to know one or two as regards this. Because I know so many people want to graduate, but they don't want to leave the soil of China because this is a land of opportunity. The third one is drive development through reverse innovation. We all know that today the Chinese is leading in technology. They are so vast that I'm not sure any part of the world today is ready to compete with them in technology. Third, the fourth one is the triple win. Graduate China, Africa, education isn't a zero-sum game. Driving Nigerian professionals and strengthening lateral trust. Skilled returnees, accelerating Nigerian growth. Yes, just as we are here, we're planning to stay in China, we can as well visit home and give back to our society to make our country a better one. Furthermore, our commitment to your expectations. I know as graduates and intending graduates who are here today, you have an expectation of coming to this gathering. I just want to tell you that we are going to exceed the expectation today. And if you're sure that we are going to exceed the expectation, jam your hands together. So I know so many questions to come. How can I secure my visa? What sector in Nigeria need my skill? Especially for our PhD graduates. They will say, if I go back to Nigeria, will I go to the classroom? Will CBN be ready to take me? Or will I go and fill form for Nigerian Police Academy? No. But today, you will know the sector that suits you when you go back home or here in China. So be assured, today's section will tell the experts and industry partners. Most important, we will be fortunate, and we're already fortunate, to hear from one of our very own and one of the best. And a proud Nigerian, with over 17 years of living, working, doing business in China. I'm not reading about this anymore. You all know the lesson. This event is designed to equip you with actionable insights, networks, and clarity. Your expectation will not just be met, but it will be exceeded. Finally, class of 2025 and all Nigerian students, you stand at the confluence of two great civilizations as you navigate visas, career, identities. Remember, you are a Nigerian. Soft power carries the another flame. Not just in protest, but in purposeful contribution. To our partners and speaker, thank you for lighting the path. To our graduates, walk with courage. Welcome, and let the show begin. Thank you. So, without further ado, one of the PhD graduates, please come and deliver a brief speech. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to use the opportunity to thank you so much by name, starting on the existing protocols. I want to use the opportunity to thank you for this gathering, especially with Judge and e-commerce company. I want to thank you for the partnership with Professor Balogun for organizing this conference for us as a meeting and in order for us to recognize it. So, like I said, I'm just completing my PhD from the University, particularly Department of Material Science and Engineering. Thank you so much, fellow Nigerians, for coming to this gathering. Really appreciate it. It's quite unfortunate that we never envisaged that our meeting is going to be so much elaborate like this. Because the idea that affected this gathering was proposed by my brothers here. So it was as a result of we graduating and not knowing what is next for us. So, and we know very well it's not only me or him that had this, these feelings in China. Staying in the country for over 4-5 years, graduating, and we know very well, we know that every country has its own peculiar challenges, but China, and it's not like other Western countries, whereby after staying for over 4 to 5 years, you can actually get maybe like permanent residence or any other opportunity that can quickly make you to stay in the country. In mind of most graduating students in China, we always have these feelings, what next for us, my business is going to finish, where am I going to next, that kind of feelings. And you have left home for years, and then you have lost most of your connections. That can place your continuity if you even intend to go home. So, it has some its way, starting from who we know and who can help us. That is where I came to Mr. Innocent, and he told me, he said, I think we have a professor in China who is a professor in Hunan University. We meet with him. So we're now thinking now on who knows and who can help us to meet him. So we reached out to Mr. Prof, because we know he has a very good relationship with him, and that is why we asked him to help us to meet him. Luckily, he's a very good organizer. He was able to reach out to the larger community of Nigerians. That is why we are here today. I would like to appreciate the person that initiated the idea, Mr. Innocent, and he is Mr. to help us to organize everybody for this event. Thank you so much. I don't have much to say. I just want to, first of all, thank you for all the graduate students, for you to come to China, and finish a degree successfully. It's not an easy task. It's very rigorous study that we pass through over the time and for us to be able to graduate successfully because Chinese master's PhD is so peculiar. If you go to like UK or US, you see some people can do master degree for only 1 year. But in China, when you come to China, master degree is 3 years and it is even rigorous research. And coming from Nigeria, Africa, we do not really have such research background. Here, you are meeting up with those kind of challenges and you have to meet up with those requirements before you can actually graduate. We pass through the system. We appreciate China for giving us this opportunity. Like I used to also tell people too, that China is giving us this opportunity. It's a privilege because it's a system. Chinese system is a system that is designed to pilot on its own. They don't even need it. So you coming here, it's a privilege. We want you to know that we appreciate that privilege. We are not taking it for granted. And for you to graduate successfully, we also, you put in a lot of work and efforts to graduate successfully. Thank you so much for everyone that gathered here. And lastly, before I leave, since you'll be here over 3 years, 4 years, you must have over 1 or 2 persons. You found out that at a point in time, it's reached a point in time if you think you're intelligent, there's a point in time your intelligence cannot work for you anymore, especially at this point in time in China. What's going on is connection. Who you know and what is at present. So it's high time that moving forward, the only advice I can tell us is for us to be able to build on our existing connections and the friendship we've made, and we're able to keep them in a brief money and relate with them in order for us to move to the next stage of our life. And as we are all here, any question that you can ask, you should be free to ask. And I'm very sure that the reason for this gathering is for us to help ourselves to have more information and this program and exposition. Thank you so much for your coming and for that. I really appreciate you all. Thank you, Professor Balogun too, for also giving us the opportunity. I know you are a very busy man. For you to avail yourself for this opportunity, I want to also thank you too. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Wow, that is quite a speech. I agree with him. At this point in time, it doesn't matter who you are, what your intelligence is. What matters more is what you can do for Nigeria, Africa, for China, or for the relationship between these countries. I know all of you are from Africa, from Nigeria. This is the 2nd time that I've seen so many fellow Nigerian friends in one place. And I would like to show some intelligence. I know some of you are Hausa, some of you are Igbo, some of you are Yoruba. It's a pity. Last time in Nigeria, in 2024 December, I only learned some Yoruba language, and I would like to show you. Forgive me if I didn't speak it right. Here it goes. Monkey Gogo Ilero. Elie Yakoko Timawa Sile, Adulao Ati Nigeria. What did you originally own Ibile Yoruba? What was Ibile Yoruba? Motilo Ibile Marum Eko Kuala, Ogun Oyo Ati Abuja. Moko Ile as a Ghanimo. How was it? The reason why I want to say this is I feel empathetic for your difficulties in learning Chinese, which, as we all know, it is the hardest language to learn in the whole wide world. So I've done my devotion in learning Nigerian. Next time I will learn some language from the northern part, next time from the eastern part, but I'm pretty sure my bond with Nigeria started from my brotherhood with Professor Balogun. I made my first trip to Africa with them. I lived with Nigerians 24/7 for 2 weeks. Everything in Nigeria. I believe I have a deeper understanding of our relationship, but not as deep as our brother, Professor Balogun. So let's warmly welcome Professor Balogun.
Hello. First, I would like to say thank you. But before I continue, there's one small thing that doesn't actually make me happy today, because it's more like I'm the center of the program, but actually I'm not. Someone actually makes some very good comment about what we have today. And I think it's a great opportunity. So that is why I think when Pablo contacted me that some graduate students would like to talk to me like that I discovered that I'm sure they are not the only one in need of it. But I believe that a lot of people might be in need. So I decided, okay, let's extend this thing beyond graduate students to other Nigerian students, because you might actually have the same question to ask. But actually, when I have this kind of opportunity, I don't take the level of using whatever situation on the ground to explain, okay, you can do this. But I always try to talk about myself from the beginning to the current position. And I think that one of the messages that might occur to everyone of us in that situation. So that's why when I was preparing my PPT, I took something like starting from China. Why do I think of starting from China? I use the word starting from China because we are all Nigerians. I'm 100% sure, except we are born in the family of Dangotes, the Adenugas, you might not witness what I've witnessed before. But if you are born in a normal and average family, you will understand what I'm saying. So that's why I use the word starting from Nigeria. Because whatever we face in Nigeria, I believe is not the same for every one of us. But I'm sure we face different things. So that's why I use the word starting from China. Okay. I use myself as an example and categorize some of these things like that. Like how to improve on your learning, how to do research, how to improve on your research, and like that. So the question comes. One of mine, I can say something that is quite a little bit more fortunate for me, is because I don't have kind of opportunity when you guys came. That will have been the best. But it's never too late. But it's something we can still work out on. So, how to improve on your learning? This learning goes beyond just like going to school and studying. So I will use these terms to actually tell everyone of us what do I mean by the real learning. So I categorize this under 3 conditions. I have something I call uncontrollable background. What do I mean by that? Like I said, actually my educational life is a little bit rough. So much rough. I mean, I used to say that I'm not the NECO guy. You know, we make a lot of fun when we talk about NECO. I'm not NECO guy. I'm YA guy. The first time NECO was introduced was the time I left. I completed my secondary school, so I'm not a NECO guy. And you know what it takes to do a lot of YGC. You know, you can have a lot of certificates only in high school, after high school. So I used to call this environment a lot of something called uncontrollable background. Why is it uncontrollable? Because I'm just a normal guy, being feeded by my parents, right? So whatever they ask you to do, they think what you're doing, okay, this is good, try this, try that. So, during my career in Nigeria, I actually attended 3 universities. Lagos State Polytechnic, now Lagos State University of Science and Technology, Federal Polytechnic and So I have ND, I have HND, I have this. So any certificate you want to talk about, I got everything. But how does it work? Don't think it's that, oh, I so much love studying to that extent that I have to go through all that. No. I never loved that. But the point is, I have to do a lot of YFGC before it. So that's something about Lagos State Polytechnic. I don't know if anybody knows something we call 3ND. You know? Then that's the thing. I did 3ND to get to Lagos State Polytechnic. And you know what it means to do a 3ND? It means you don't even have a good YF result to go for pre-degree. When you have your credit in math, English, and all the relevant subject, you can actually get into the degree school, right? But me, I didn't even have that. For polytechnics, we only need 2 credits to pass for pre-ND. So that is how I could start from. Okay, so pre-ND, I did my pre-ND. After 1 year, as a normal ND, then I was trying to use I'm actually interested in studying medicine. Okay, medicine. Okay, I was post-medical doctor. You know, in Nigeria, we only have 3 courses. Medicine, law, and engineering, right? Every parent in Nigeria would like to be like that. So I'm also one of those guys. So I'm interested in doing medicine. Okay, so I did my MD. By that time, there's still this law that you can use your direct entry from the polytechnic to the university. So I was working hard on my MD. The year I completed my MD in 2002, they cancelled using using ND to go to the university for medicine at 200 level. You have to start over again. So I got angry. Oh, no. Then I went for HND. During my HND days, I got my direct entry opportunity into only Olabisi from University. Who can tell me the previous name of this school? Anybody knows the previous name of this school? I'm not asking you. You are not part of the question. Do anybody know the name of Olabisi University initially? No. Okay. Olabisi University was first named as Ogun State University. That is the former Ogun State University. So it was changed by the year I'm working with the school. Okay. So I did a direct entry, got in there. So during my HND days, I was actually running through schools there. Go from place that way, following me like that, keep going. So, and then I managed to stay there. But 2 things happened during this thing. That's the purpose of doing this. When I did my HND, we have a lab technician in the school. He actually handles all the laboratory stuff. So the day I went for my application, for my admission in OU, for my degree, I was on the queue, and I saw a kind of guy using one kind of cap. I know this cap is very common during my HND school. So, of course I'm on the queue. So the guy did his own admit whatever registration before me. And when I was coming back, I was still on the queue and I saw him. Oh, brother Abdulaziz, what are you doing here? He said he came to enroll for degree. We are already our technician in Federal Polytechnic in Lagos. He did his bachelor's or MD, HNDs in Lagos with distinction. They retained him to work there. But you know what happened? What leads him to that place was because they employed somebody who actually was his set, then with lower credits, went for BSc, went for Masters, come back and become a lecturer at home. So he got ahead of it. So he went to apply for degrees. So when I met him on that queue, then I still want it. I'm on the right path. So he has to complete his HND after a few years working in Canada. But I got the opportunity that I'm still on my HND and I did that. So I said, okay, that's nice, that's good. So he left. He has to work. So I'm the one that usually goes to students like I used to be assisting with a lot of homework, like that. After some couple of time, at my 200 level in OOU, another miracle happens. So that is why it is always good for you to always study your government. When we are in 200 level in OOU, the best graduating students then in 400 level, there are 2 of them. They have first class in chemistry. And the university gave them scholarship to do their masters in the University of Balogun. And they also cleared the whole result. That's good result, you know. And they came back to our university as a teaching, a graduating assistant or lecturing assistant or something. Then we are informed of them. The most unfortunate thing, another guy with a lower credit, just second class lower, completed his program, non-lead with them. did his 1 year service NYSC, and traveled to UK for 1 year master's program. He came back, and that guy became a lecturer too. Why those guys with first class of the same school, sponsored with the University of Balogun for masters, were graduate assistants? I saw that at my phone and I said, oh, then that day I made that vow. Nothing will make me study my masters in that country. Nothing. If I'm not going to do masters, if I'm not going to travel abroad, then I will live with my bachelor degrees and keep on looking for life. So, those two things happen to me. And so, that's what I call, these are bad ones that are uncontrollable. But based on flexibility, I keep on thinking, I don't want to study my master's in this country. How do you want to do that? I don't have brothers in the US, no sisters in the UK, nothing like that. So what should I do? Okay, normal life, keep on struggling. And then before my NYC, I was doing a teaching job. Chemistry, I love chemistry a lot, so teaching before the opportunity came. So when the opportunity came from that school, then I was fortunate. So these are all my my nonsense certificates. I call them nonsense certificates. And you have to say, you spend all your time doing nonsense? Actually, yes. The nonsense means that it is actually accumulation of nonsenses that becomes good thing. Until you get that opportunity, all you are still doing is nonsense. You just have to realize that reality. Until you get to where you're going, all what you are doing remain nonsense. So I call them nonsense certificates, okay? So, okay, good. These are my end days. I saw one image, one kind of information from someone. That guy was talking about what is beauty. Was explaining what is beauty actually. When you are beautiful at your 20s, you are beautiful at your 10s, you are beautiful at your 30s, 40s. Then when you see yourself, you should be able to say something about yourself. So I'm the guy, I'm not that handsome, let's be ugly. So I used to bring back my pictures during my school days. And look at it. That is me over there. That's me over there. That's me over there. That's me over there. These are pictures of about 20 years ago. Okay. But when I put my current pictures beside that, I'm always happy for myself. That's the good thing about myself. I put a lot of credit on myself. I know of course a lot of people are better than me, but I can always be better than my yesterday. That is one important thing that I wish everybody can understand from. So, alright. So that's me over there. That's my national base. So I got the opportunity to China, and I'm even doing that. I'm in China for 5 years.
Si tu me laisses la Tchétchénie, moi je te laisse l'Arménie. Si tu me laisses l'Afghanistan, moi je te laisse le Pakistan. Si tu ne quittes pas Haïti, moi je t'embarque pour Bangui. Si tu m'aides à bombarder l'Irak, moi je t'arrange le Kurdistan. Ils ont partagé le monde. Rien ne m'étonne. Rien ne m'étonne. Partager le monde. Rien ne m'étonne.
Then we have nothing to discuss. So this is a guy, that's what to think about. How did that video become so rich early? How does this guy become this thing? What can we do? What's the step? We don't have diagrams like that. So, and because I studied chemistry, and during my time, I remember that was when the cyber cafe started getting popular in Nigeria. To open an email, Yahoo Mail, then we pay to open. This is what I'm going to do. So I used to use this kind of picture that new energy. What can I see? New energy brings light to you. And you know, okay, that one is a fascination in Nigeria. You know what happens? You have the opportunity of traveling abroad. I'm going to do something and I'm going to. However, that's an opportunity because I have a target. That's the most important thing. So those days, I did all the way straight to China. So I took this as second topic that on the race for suitable platform. That is one important. We all have our non-controllable diagram. But immediately we step out of that place, we should think of something. Why are we stepping out? So when anybody contacts me up to date that, oh, I want my son to travel out of the country, I don't care who you are. I will ask why is your son traveling out of the country? The answer, I don't assist. That's me. Because that has actually affected a lot of opportunities you have. I never say if you travel abroad without having a reason you will not survive. But your plan at the beginning tells you where you are going. That's one thing. So, when I got there, this is actually all of this. And then, if you probably, I did my bachelor degree, MD, whatever. Where? Lagos, Ogun. Just standing in the sun. If you ask me, have I been to Kano before? No, I haven't been there. Have I been to Port Harcourt before? Oh, no. My life is usually a little bit restricted because I believe in complete one thing, then you move for the rest. So, when I come to China, the same thing happened. This is how big China is. When did I do my Chinese learning? Guanxi province. Where did I do my master's? Guanxi province. The same thing. Then, when I went for my PhD, I went to Hunan province, all the way south of China. The same thing, my master, PhD, postdocs, and like that. Then when I got a job, I come to Hunan. I'm still in the south of China. But I heard some of us, they did their Chinese language in Xinjiang, and they come for the masters in Balogun. Those are actually. So actually, I've stayed in China for 17 years. I haven't taken much more about China, but I've got that opportunity based on some other things. It's okay. I come to work in Hunan in 2008, 2018, and then how did I go through all this? That is what something very important. I want everybody to see something here. You are so lucky now. You come to China for your degree, right? You just study your master's, your PhD, everything. But we, no Chinese, no going through. It's compulsory. You have to do your bachelor, then after that you complete your, by the end of the program, you have to pass HSK 5, 6, whatever. For us, no. First pass HSK, then go for the program. If they ask anybody to study Chinese now for 2 years, how do you feel? Learning Chinese, nothing. For one purpose, I want to do masters. And even with my money, not a scholarship. So, tells you something. Free things are the most expensive things. So we have a lot of challenges when we have too much scholarship. So somebody asks me, when you're on scholarship, you don't understand too much about what you do. Do we actually get these scholarships are excellent? You know what I'm talking about, right? How do we get scholarship in China? This is something we need to talk to ourselves. And we still have people who fight for their stipend because the school is not giving a little bit stipend. And the question I asked when I got it, are you qualified for the scholarship? Do you know how many millions of Nigerians that Abadio, Okeke, comprehensive, they can put everything in their head and they will write it again, but they are dying down. So one way or the other, we got opportunity, we come out. So the direction should change. So I studied Chinese language for 2 years. What am I studying? For 2 years, doing nothing. A waste of time, right? But I will tell you that when I remember now in China, I always say thank you to that 2 years. 2008. So, when I want to apply for my master's, normally you need to pass HSK. So I went for my HSK, went to another city called Nanin in Guangxi province exam, passed. I mean, these days are even more easier for HSK. You have HSK 1, 2, 3, 4, exams separately. Then we only have one exam for HSK 1 to 6. Just one exam. So they rate you based on your results. If you score something, maybe from around 100, you got HSK 1, like that. So I managed to get to score 190 something or 180 something. So that is equivalent to HSK 4. So HSK 4 is for masters. Okay, I put it, and everything becomes. Second stage. You need to pass HSK 5 before you complete your masters. So at the end of that, during my masters, I never stopped going to Chinese classes to pass HSK 5. Okay, everything looks good. Then I got the opportunity to have PhD in Science University by scholarship. And how? When I see to the big opportunity we all have now, sometimes I want to cry. Like, oh, why did this opportunity come during my time? During my masters, I published 2 papers. I can show you. Okay, these are these 2 papers during my masters that I published. 1, 2. The 2 of them. Do I know how to do research? No. But one thing, I have to just do one thing. Stay in the lab from morning till night. Apart from the days I usually went for part-time jobs, I spend most of my life in the lab. We have some couple of friends who tells me that, oh, you are in China. Business they go now. How far? You don't do business. People they carry something they enter from China from like that. We from China for like 2 years, we don't do that, we don't do this, thing like that. I mean, after I don't stay for China for like 10 years before I even see one man back. But like that, one man after 10 years. Just to buy one. A plot of land in one bush. But up to date, I don't feel worried about all that. Because it's always a trap for you, depends on how you lay your hands on it. So, I got my PhD opportunity in Sun Yat-sen University based on this group of opportunities. By the time I complete my PhD, I only have one. My master's, I only have one. I applied for scholarship in a school called, the university belongs to the UK called University of Nottingham. They have campuses in Malaysia, they have campus in China, and their main campus in the UK. I saw their scholarship online. And I was like, okay, cool, university, I should have a month to elect, right? Then I applied. Then I got it. So after 2 months, they gave me a result. Saying what? They said they can't give me scholarship because I did not graduate from China 985 series university. China 985 series university. What does that mean? That is after spending about 5 years in China. I don't know what is called 985. In Chinese, you will use to hear Jiubao. Not these days that you even know what you are applying for. So I went to my master's supervisor there, and I told her, please, what is 985 university? So then he told me that 985 universities, they are actually 35 in numbers in China. And we have 211 universities that are about 100 in numbers. So I asked, my university is Hunan University of Electronic Technology. What is it? Which one are we? Are we 985 or 2 hours? He said, no. You know, any of them will not do. So we are going for this. So I don't expect you, we are going to say, I'm a good student. And then I decided, no 985 universities, no PhD. I used to observe one thing. When I make a very strong and target decision, I don't know how God will just come to help me. But one thing important, you should always qualify for that opportunity. So I said I will never do PhD without going to a 95 universities. So I went online, China 95 universities. I saw the 35 numbers. That was January 2013. Okay, expat universities. So I just want to know about CSC scholarship. So I started checking the website one by one. I applied for most of the universities, except Tsinghua University, Peking University, they already closed for them. If you know about Tsinghua scholarship, CSC, they used to close very early. Since December, they are closed. So I was keep on applying. I sent mails back to every university. Then, apart from those two, waiting for results. But the question is, one thing I want to bring out here. You said something about doing your master's 3 years in China. I completed my master's in 2.5 years. So the last year, supposed to be January 2013 to July 2013. So during that period, I was free. But I got a job to do in my master's school. You know a program called 2+2 study for the Chinese. I mean, they will have to do 2 years in one Chinese university, then they will have to do the other 2 years outside. 2+2. So my school have this 2+2 something that they need some outline English for the students. And fortunately, I just completed my program. I have a very good relationship with the international office. That's what message I want to ask. International office of your school, they are 50% of your life in China when you are a student. So I always urge people, please, always have good relationship with your international office. Don't try to claim any right against them. Please and please. So because of that, we have a lot of good students, but they gave me that opportunity to teach those students. So then my visa expires normally in December 2012. But because they gave me that job, they extend my visa voluntarily. So when we have challenges on visa, I've spent 17 years in China, I never have challenges on visa. Because every time I need to change my visa, something positive always comes that would say, oh, let's go and do it for me. So they gave me 7-month visa because I have to teach. And I was not having a plan for that. By the time I completed my master's, I've already contacted my father, like, oh, I'm coming home, where should you get a job, like that. Based on that, the opportunity comes. So I was teaching in that school, and then use that opportunity to properly search for my PhD in 95 universities. So, this university had my master's. So, now look at my picture here, and look at those pictures there. Which one is more handsome? Now, of course. So I used to, there's a PPT I used to do before. I used to put my pictures myself, and I would have to say, yeah, mine. Talk to yourself. So, that was my master's. So, these are some of my Nigerian friends in my city. And then, that was it. Then I went to Sunday University for my PhD. And how do I got into this? I applied on this, I keep on getting emails. I'm not qualified. So by June 2013, I'm still not having any opportunity, but I'm still working in the school. Very relaxed. Then Sunday University messaged me and told me, although you are not qualified, send me a mail for CSC scholarship. Okay, no problem. Let me just complete my job and then get my visa, and my visa is expired, and then go to Nigeria. If I get to Nigeria, I'll find work. I'll look like that. Let's go. But, fortunately, when God wants to help, something you always work for you. CSC scholarship. The CSC scholarship given to one school is usually fixed. By the end of June, they will have given the number of scholarships to that school and they will have sent all the money to that school. So my school got the same opportunity. But by July, one of the guys that got scholarship in that school decided from maybe or something, decided not to come, I don't know. So towards the end of July, I received a call from Senior University. Are you so? I said, yes. We actually have rejected your application in June. I said, yes. But we are considering your application now based on 3 situations. Number 1. I was coming from a non-211, non-95 university, right? So they said, for those quality of schools, I need a publication with impact factor worth of 6. All PhD students will understand this. With impact factor worth of 6. So let's do that. During this time, these 2 publications I had, this was my first publication. Then the impact factor was 4. This was my second. The impact factor was 2. So that was 6. But you know the bad news. When they rejected me in June, I already had this, but they still rejected me. Now they bring it back that because you are from this, so we'll receive your. When I submit the application, I only have this paper. Because I published this later. So they searched for my name, they saw I have this, and they calculated the receipts. That's condition number 1. Condition number 2. They said they received a letter from our embassy. So if everybody has been here, that's me, I don't have this. That one help will not do for me. And they are here all the time. Always there. Actually, you know, when you are applying for CSC government scholarship, there is something there they told us that we need to have a recommendation from your country national body equivalent to that. So you know, I was just applying online and something. I don't know about who will contact Nigerian Scholarship Council or Nigerian Ministry of Education, which of them? So I'm not thinking of anything, I just apply. But I did one thing. I wrote a letter to the embassy. Since January then, I wrote a letter. When God wants to help, there was a guy who came to that education section of the embassy in June that decided to treat all the letters on their table. They received letters, but they don't treat. So when God wants to help, he has to take the previous guy away and bring the new guy. So the news guy was thinking, what is this one? So, okay, this one is a letter of recommendation. They wrote a letter of recommendation on my behalf and sent it to the school. That is something that happens when I don't know. So that is something that we have to do with excellence. You always try to struggle to be excellent. You may not be the best, but be excellent. That is the second condition. And the third condition is the worst of the condition. The second, because they gave this opportunity to a Pakistani who is actually not coming. And they have to make it up. And I'm the next person on the list that is qualified. So they put me in there as on trial. Give me a shitty trial. So they are giving me 1 year opportunity. Give me 2 months. This scholarship, I will not drop it. Do I want or not? From Wheeling, I've already moved to Anjo for PhD as well. I decide to pay for my PhD. Georgia University, I've gotten a scholarship there, but I have to pay school fees, tuition, accommodation, and everything. Tuition is not free, others are free. What's the cost of that scholarship? That PhD. in that 6 months. So I decided to pay because Georgia University is 95 and number 4, number 3 in China. Okay, so I'm going, I don't care. I did my master's in Chinese. My master's year was 3 years. Each year was 25,000 RMB. And I never had my home for 1 RMB. Everything was based on part-time jobs. And I know some of us will ask the question, how can you do part-time jobs? China doesn't allow part-time jobs and everything. I have answers to that. So, I keep on doing that. So I was able to pay 25,000 for 3 years. I've been learning Chinese for about 15,000 for 2 years. So if you count everything, I've paid about 100 and something thousand to Chinese universities, learning for just a master's certificate. Man itself. The question is, how many of us can do that? It's something that I used to do, be proud of myself. How many of us can actually do it? No scholarship, nothing. For 5 years. Okay, fine. So when Georgia University comes to me, I said, 35,000 RMB. I paid that, no problem. In Willing, when we teach kids for English 1 hour, it's about 80, 70 RMB. I've checked online in Angel, it's about 300 RMB. So, I can do that and go to that place. I should be able to do that. That's good. But when Science University came, I quickly go on. Science University, 95. I applied before. Okay, that's good. So I checked the rating. Science University was rated 7, 8 in China then. While Georgia University was rated 3rd, right? So, which one should I choose? 3rd with 35,000 every month. Sorry, every year. But this one, the other one is free. Oh, that's a good one. So at that particular point, I forfeited Georgia University because of money. Then I went to Science University. That time, when you are looking for the best, sometimes the best doesn't fit you. That is one reality I also want to say. Georgia University is the best. But I went to Georgia University, I'm 100% sure I won't get a job in China today. Because I will spend much of my time struggling for part-time jobs to make money for my school fees. And I will not have time for my research properly. So at that point, I left Georgia University. I've come to Science University with, of course, scholarship, no need. All I need to do is just study. Oh boy, this one. So I went to like that, and that is how everything. So, this is my school. I went to different places, every place, and I have to show all this. You know the problem it takes us to apply for United States visa from Nigeria, right? That is only when you have not qualified. I went to a conference in the US, this conference, in 2016. That was my final year of PhD. So, you can see the conference was in March. I was in Nigeria in February 2016. So, the time I decided, I already bought the ticket. So, when I want to apply for the US visa for this conference, I have to be in Nigeria then. So, I'm thinking, should I change my ticket? I mean, normal thing, you get scared, like, I don't apply this visa for the guy, I'm going to apply for China. But when I checked the note, I have to change my ticket. It's costing me another 5,000 to change the ticket. Nothing happened. Let's go to Nigeria. So I went to Nigeria, so I booked my US this thing in Nigeria. So I went for the interview in Nigeria. And that is when I know that once you are qualified, forget it. You will always have a power teacher. I went to that embassy that day in Lagos, and almost over 500 people have interviewed that day. If you see that kid, who has been to American Embassy in Lagos for visa application? American Embassy in Lagos. Can you see the population? I got to the embassy 5 a.m. and we already met people on the queue already. Did you sleep there? us they'll be here since 3 a.m. 5 a.m. Then we start on the queue. By the time the interview gets to me, it's almost 10 o'clock. And about 7, 8 people in front of me rejected. So many excuses. When it gets to my turn, the girl asks me, why are you going to the US? I'm going for a conference. In which city? He said, what's it called? Phoenix? Where's Phoenix situated? Of course in Arizona. Have you been to the US before? No. Okay, what's the conference all about? Then I introduced the conference to her. So I said, so what is my own significance in the conference? I said, I'm having a poster presentation. And then, so I've been given the opportunity like this, like that. One more question. So, what you are telling me is that this conference is all about batteries. I said, yes. So what does battery have to do with material? Then I said, let me make an example to you. Then look at listening. I told her, I said, you have your phone today, right? I said, you actually charge your phone every night. He said, yes. I asked her, do you want to use your phone for 1 week without charging? He said, yes, of course. I said, that's the material I work on. So she pressed her computer, press. And she said, I'm afraid. And I said, you're afraid of what? Don't give face to those people when you have money. But if your document was actually organized by somebody else, you get scared. But I prepared my document myself. That's what they requested for. And you're afraid of what? We still have to do some verification, like that. Maybe you have to rebook another document. I just go to my car and I bring out my ticket back to China in 1 week. I'm going back to China next week to continue my study. What do you have to do? Oh, sorry. Then they changed the white form to the green form, pick up your visa on Thursday. That was all. That was all. So I went for that one. And then, so when people tell me that US visa is very difficult, I said, no, it's not difficult. For me, it's very easy. Because at a particular time, you are qualified for that. And you get it. Exactly. So I was there, and then some of us that asked about what's about do PhD, posting sciences in the world. During my PhD, I have 12 publications. These are 12 numbers. Approximately 4 publications per year. I did my PhD for 3 years. Approximately 4 per year. And you have to how that happens. Then I will never tell you the result is because I'm hardworking. No. If I haven't gone through my 2 years Chinese, these publications won't exist. Because with Chinese language understanding and background, I was able to have very good communication with my lab mates. That is the secret behind all these things. Why? I also have one thing in common. If you want me to help you, you have to think of one thing. That is what I wish you can learn today. Please, don't ever think you deserve any help from anybody. The day you remember that nobody has any reason to help you, the day you are 50% solve all the problems you have in this life. But always demand for help when you have something to change for. Always demand for help when you have something you can change with. So during my PhD time, there is one problem. I did my PhD in Science University. Unfortunately for me, all the students in my lab, they did their bachelor's in Science University. If you know about Chinese education, before you can get your bachelor done in the 95 universities, that is a big job. So averagely, all the students are better than me. By round off in their presence. That tells me, like, always understand who you are. In Chinese, if you notice one Chinese, I love that Chinese word word very well. Everybody is very good to understand. 你是几斤几两 Do you know the meaning? 几斤几两 So I need to tell myself that you have to know how many jin, how many liang are you. What is your worth? First know that. So in their presence, I'm nothing. But I'm not scared. So what I do, I keep on looking for their weaknesses. And their weaknesses is what? English. So when we start doing research, I try to make friends with every single of them. I speak Chinese, so that's a problem solved. So I go to that. During the last group meeting, I observed that you wanted to finish your paper, your work, you start writing. Yeah, if you have a problem with English. Yes, I go to the next one. So at every group meeting, then I'm the most serious student. Why? Because I'm looking for weaknesses of every one of them. So in the group meeting, I'm always very serious and okay. Oh, it's time to write paper. But you have problem with your English spelling. You have problem with your English spelling. You have problem with your English spelling. So when you write that book, they will surely have a problem. So they come to me. I solve the English problem. Then I bring out my research. But I did absolutely. So don't expect help from anybody if you have nothing to offer. If you say God will help you, and will not deceive you. You know that God everyone helps those who help themselves. That is one thing I have to be concerned about policy, not only in China, and also in the world. So most of my work with the PhD, you will always discover that most of the second authors of my work are different. If you see anybody in my second author, is the person I have to carry with properly. With 12 publications, very confident. These are PhDs and that's my professor over there. He loves me a lot. He loves me a lot. The same. Relationship. Always build the relationship properly. And those are just pictures. And even some of my friends from Berlin, they have to send some delegates to Guangzhou, like that. I spent 5 years in Guangzhou. 3 years for PhD, 2 years for postdocs. But it's so surprising that I did not do any single transaction related to buying and selling in tigers in Guangzhou. Who can do that? Anybody? Can you do that? Guangzhou. Okay, because we said we will find opportunity to go. It's like this there now, and it's okay. There is time for everything. I spent 5 good years in Guangzhou without any single transaction. I buy things, I send it home to my family. That I did. That's enough. Because I was on ship, so I have stipend, then I can make some little, save some little money. I already have a wife and I have kids there. So, something happens. I do all these pictures because the more you grow higher, the more good people around you. The more you go higher, the more good people around you. So, then, master's finished, PhD finished, then something comes to what we call creating a controllable atmosphere. What does that mean? Well, how can you create a controllable atmosphere? That is only when you have something to exchange with the community. I decided to go to the US for my postdoc there. And because, very funny relationship friends around. In the US, opportunity, this. Of course, I tried my best. And I was getting 1 or 2 opportunities. But my professor came to me. He told me that if you leave China now, That's the waste of 10 years. My professor, my PhD professor came to me. If you leave China now, then you have wasted 10 years in China. Who that was China? I speak Chinese, I did this, I did that. But, you know, there's an adage in Yoruba land. I know it's going to be in all, even in all language, both English and whatever, is that when you see an elderly person just coming to you and telling you one advice, suddenly go back and think properly why that is coming. I never understand what he says. So I accept the opportunity. It's okay. I'm not good. I continue with my postdoc. During my postdoc, there are some little things that unfortunately are very, very fortunate for me. This is China Postdoctoral Science Foundation. That's the funding that I applied for during my postdoc. You can go and ask if you know anybody. For a foreigner doing postdoc, to get a postdoc funding in China, then it has to do with what is your PhD talking about. I applied for this, and there are 2 grades, grade A and grade B. I got the grade A. Because of what? 12 publications. There is always a link between them. This one, and there is a national funding in China then. We call it NSFC. I don't know whether there is not. That funding is very difficult to get in China. Every year, over 400,000 Chinese apply for that funding. Very difficult among professors. During those times, I applied for that funding during my postdoc, and when God wants to help me, I got that funding as well. 2 funding, 12 publications in my PhD, 5 publications in my 2 years postdoc, and everybody in Hunan University was waiting for me. And then after that, I came to Hunan University. When the Hunan University AOOT came out in 2017, I saw the conditions. And I only met one condition, just one condition. The condition is that I have PhD. All other conditions states that you have to graduate from foreign countries. We call it high-wide. High-wide. So the Chinese school is bringing out, asking for Chinese and foreign experts to come back. But I graduated from China. So I used to tell my friend in the lab that I am also high-wide. Why? I said because I'm a foreigner in China, so I'm high-wide to Nigeria. So they told me, hey, go to Nigeria and work. No, that is not. I'm high-wide. So that is the kind of joke with me. So I just applied. When everything is going to favor you, things happen miraculously. From 2016, President Xi raised up a motive there that the whole country should work towards foreign collaborations. Make it very emphasized, not limited to technology, but including education. So I'm so happy our university, my Hunan University boss, loved that thing a lot. So when I saw this advert, I applied, and then probably they discovered my CV among them, and discovered that, oh, you this guy, you have this kind of rural opportunities. So I was sent a letter of interview. I was like, wow. So December 2017, I came to Hunan University for the interview. The interview went for almost 3 days, like that. The next thing is that I got the job after the interview, they offered me the job, but I paused. They gave me 6 months to think about it. The most important thing is, I came to Kansha in June 2018. And by December, look at this interview. This university, Hunan University, yearly forum interview. They used to have it every year, from 2016 up to date. So for 2018 interview, I'm already working there. So there is another guy from India who came to apply for the same. So they gave him the interview offer. So after the interview, they have to have some negotiation with the dean. And the dean was telling him that they can only offer him an associate professorship. And the guy said, no, he wants a professorship. And he said, why? You are not qualified to be. He said, and he was forced to say that there is also a Nigerian who gave a professorship last year in this place. So, and he thinks his CV is better than mine. I never knew the reason why they gave me the job. I think I had qualified like that. So they didn't ask to call me for translation, more for the guy. And when I got there, that is the day I know the importance of that 2 years Chinese. The dean told me that, okay, the guy did his bachelor in University of South Korea. University of South Korea is rated top 100 in the world. When did I do my bachelor? Yeah. The best university in Nigeria, whether it is OAU or University of Balogun, they are rated number 900 in the world. But me, I graduated from Moscow. In fact, I never checked the ranking of Moscow in my life. Because I don't want to disappoint myself. I never checked the ranking. Because maybe so, University of Shore, also. When the guy is going to do his masters, he did his masters in the University of Tokyo, Japan. And that's another top 50 university of the world. And I did mine in Hunan University of Electronic Technology. That is now, that I can check the rating. The rating was 2000 and something then. So bachelor, masters, cancel. PhD, then you forget it. He did his PhD in UK. What's this university called? University College London, UCL. I did my own PhD in science. Although science is good in China, number 7, about top 200 of the world, but that one is top 20 of the world. But one thing, I have 16 publications when I was applying. He got 5. So after going through all the best schools, what's your result? So that is the reason for being in a weaker environment and struggling more. You never knew what was going to be for you. That's number 1. And number 2, the PhD students, you know something about Q1, Q2, Q3. The 16 papers that I was using to apply for a job there, they are all Q1s. No single Q2. And that is very rare to get one. And number 3, the dean told him that if you have to work in a university as a professor, you need to have your own group. And that group, you must be the group leader. But this is your first time in China because of this interview. You cannot lead a group without Chinese. Now, see the accumulations. So when some of us, I've seen Nigerians that when they ask them to learn Chinese for 1 year, 2 years, they think it's a waste of time. So, that was all. The guy did not accept the job. he just couldn't accept because he thinks he's far, far better than me. Okay, he is better than me, according to him, but he is not better than me, according to the Chinese environment. Currently, the guy now is in the UK, up till now. He went to the UK, doing postdoc and postdoc and postdoc, up till now. That is it. So, that opportunity comes. I got married in 2012 and 2011. So by 2015, I already have 2 sons. And then my wife, my kids, they're all in Nigeria for almost 5, 6, 7 years. So I brought them to China in 2019. And the reason why I decided not to bring them to China during those days was what? Suitable atmosphere for development, for your family, and for everything. Because I know the country it's good to love your family. I mean, what do you expect to love more than your wife and your kids? But if you are looking at your future, you have to think properly. I know a lot of friends who actually lost a lot of foreign opportunity because of their family. It doesn't stop you from getting rich. While you are going to get rich, you will. But when there is time for that sacrifice, you sacrifice everything. So I have to sacrifice my own family and everything for that opportunity. And I stayed with me throughout those periods. And when it's 2019, I went home and I bring them confidently. I have my job, I have my offices, I have my home, I have everything. Just come in and enjoy China. So when you ask anybody up to now, some of the people here that knows my wife will tell you, when you have people that enjoy China a lot, I used to say number 1 is my wife. Yeah, because they don't have to face anything. That is a suitable atmosphere. It takes almost 11, 12, 13 years to build such an opportunity. It's not a one-day job. So, all those things is our kids, like that. The first time they came to China, that December, snow came in Changsha. I haven't seen snow in my life as well. And snow came. I was in Guangxi, I was in Guangzhou, no snow. I came to Hunan the very first year, snow came. So, like that, these are some of the funding I told you that I used to start up my research laboratory. This is, when I got to university, when I just made me one big to start for my life. Some of you actually knows my life. Some of you don't know. Maybe after this week, before some of the graduation travel, I can, if I ask that person's travel to organize, maybe because of numbers, we can organize step by step to visit. It's a very small place, just about August kilometers, but it's something that is it. This is part of the inside of my lab. And then, when you have such an opportunity, then a lot of things follows you up. Always being invited for group talks, teachers, different college leaders, travel, and I'm a football owner. I play football a lot. I'm that guy that nothing can stop me from playing football. But now, if you say football, I'm not even assuming I don't know what to say. The last time I played football now should be up to 3 years. I was even telling Pablo that maybe we should organize a football match, a farewell football match tomorrow, and see whether I can still run. I play football a lot, and then doesn't stop other things. It depends on the time. This is able, some of the funding, those ones you see, that's another funding from the, these fundings are not being given to others, they are being given to me directly to do my research work. These are ways that you find it difficult among foreigners in China. So, that is that. So, all of the things I have today, actually, this is a very lovely meeting, but those are the things I have as this thing. But there are some areas that I want us to see, which is very important. This is where I'm going. Let me show you something. If you want to know currently about my current research achievements. This is me. You can search on Google Scholar. Currently up to date, I have about 12,000 citations. If I'm not mistaken, I tried to search, but I haven't gotten a complete result. But if you are talking about the numbers of Nigerians across the world, I'm not talking about Nigerian that's already a US citizen. I'm not talking about that. But we still maintain our nationality as Nigerian. I don't think there is any Nigerian that has more citations than me up to now. This is over 12,000. You can check it on Google Scholar. And the reason why I can show everyone today is that no matter what you are doing, it takes a lot of time to accomplish everything. And these are some of the recent. I got my job in 2018, and from 2018 to date, there are over 20 postgraduate students that have graduated under me. I have about 17 PhD students, 17 master students already graduated, and I have about 3 PhDs as well. They have graduated up to date. So, now, this is where I'm going. This is the 3 things that is the most important message of all. When you want to improve on your research, it's not the research that we are doing in the lab. It's the research about your environment. How do you improve yourself as student level? This is some of the things that I said. How do you need to talk to Nigerians? When you just go to China, it will have helped a lot. One thing is, I've met Nigerians who actually told me that I don't even like development. I don't like to talk to them. You are in China and you're telling me you don't like to talk to your lab mates. So why do you come to China? Oh, I don't like some of them. If you don't speak Chinese, they are not friendly with you. They're not Chinese. Interactions. Both academic and social. Contribution. That's what I said. If you have nothing to offer, it will be very difficult to seek someone to help you in China. Why should I help you? Why should I help you? I should help you because I discovered that why? Because I believe he can also offer me something. That is the secret and the root of every success. This is what you should do at the student level. So if I may ask us, what is your relationship between yourself and your friends as a student? Second, this is a little bit more technical, but I want to say something. During my master's, I was working on a field of study called nickel metal batteries. During my PhD, I came to lithium-ion batteries. Although they are battery, but their concepts are very different. The professor asked me, my professor then asked me, do you think you can work on a new relay? I said yes, but actually I don't know. My concept is, just give me PhD first. I don't want place for this. I don't know whether I don't pay. Masters, 25,000 for 3 years. This is an easy thing. I said I can. Flexibility, interaction. But I don't know anything. Improvement at working level. The same thing. I'm saying today, this place we are today, when I was discussing with Pablo was asking me location. That was Monday. All this thing we are doing, we only planned it for 5 days. Just on Monday. He messaged me on Saturday, I was not free to reply him on Sunday. So I replied him on Sunday late. On Monday, then I said, okay, what are you going to do? I called him. These enders, our ANSIC up there, I called him. He said, I was thinking of this thing and this guy, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, what should we do? How do we get to secure a very good place to use and let us wait? So we called the lady, she was sitting there before, okay, she's there. We called her, like, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, let's see. Then we start running around to secure a very good environment. And then we got that. Why should she contribute? And when I got the opportunity, I was talking to Professor Dong here, called me for another thing entirely. And I said, oh, Professor, don't, I said, it's okay. I want to come. And that is how we got to have. That is what? Interaction, both academics and social. I have an alliance formed by myself and Mr. Yo. We call it Alliance of Overseas Talents in Hunan. That was usually academics, but now we are making it more social. So most of the environments you can see around me here are purely social. I have an academic environment I also work with. And the same thing, collaboration. And the last one is improvement at the future level. This is one important thing I want us to see. 3 things. You are a foreigner. You come to China. To do what? What is China up to? The same thing is applicable to all other countries, but China is unique. 1, keeping eye on national strategies. I'm telling you, China, Africa, economic and trade. Either you like it or not. If you have to survive in China now, as an African, join that race. Keep an eye on national strategies. Okay. They call it China-Africa trade and economy. I'm doing science. What does that have to do with trade and economy, right? Who told you they don't have a relationship? The relationship is that any research work you do, if you have a good research work, what do you expect? You expect to be converted to what? To a product. And what's that product? Economy. What's that product? If I make this battery from my lab, I want to make sure that this battery, I think this battery is better than all batteries we are using for my lab. I think so. So, I make it a patent. Then I sell it to a company. I might be shareholders of that company. Actually, I'm a scientist or I'm a researcher. But at the same time, what happens to my product? It becomes trade and it's useful for the economy. So, that's what I said. Research is not only about what you are doing in the lab, but about keeping an eye on what? National strategies. Second thing, keeping eyes on key research areas. What are the key research areas in China now today? Please, anybody? Key research area in China now. AI. So that's a big opportunity for computer science students. Renewable energy. That's my field. Yeah. Energy storage. Energy storage, yeah. Still all related to new energy. That's also my field. What else? Sustainable revolution. That's very important. That covers everything we have here. That's the highest of it. And one more thing. Global market. AI, e-commerce, and medical. So that is why you can see Central South, the Shanghai hospital is one of the best. That's a big area. We should keep eye on research area. And the last one is what? Keep eye on current trends. When the lady was discussing with us downstairs about China, there's a wall that was showing about a lot of policies that has to do with foreign values. That all works a lot. But it's not easy to see anyone that will tell you what is in there, except to have a proper relationship with them. And that's all that. So, those are some of the things that we actually have. So these are the major areas that I also try to pinpoint. And when I say keep an eye on current trends, I'm doing research does not mean I cannot make videos. How do you call it in English? I don't even know the English. I know the Chinese. The Chinese say Guangdong. How to say Guangdong in English? I think that word is not good. Huh? Influencer? Okay, maybe that's okay. Have a WeChat channel, despite the fact that when I post video, maybe you only have 5 views, 10 views. It doesn't matter. That's the current trend in China. I've seen someone who is actually doing research. I mean, and he used to make his live video while doing that research, saying nothing, just like that. Millions of viewers. That's the current trend. So we have channels, and Michelle and maybe Kenny can say some things about some things that we have tried on that. We tried, we failed, but doesn't stop to continue. So don't overlook that trend. Do you know the product called Xiaomi?
Yeah, my product.
It's your product. It's your product.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yes. You know Xiaomi? The head of Xiaomi used to do Jibon live. So if the head of Xiaomi, someone that worth millions of dollars, go there, is into technology, is into energy, and now is going on Jibon. And you are complaining that the world is not good. Who told you that? That is what I want us to focus on. Currently today, China, Africa, it's something I want every one of us to look into properly. When I say properly, you can build a new world from that area. Very big one. Very important. It doesn't disturb your research work. It doesn't disturb your coursework. It doesn't disturb anything. That is the current trend, the national area, and the national strategies and the key areas. These things have actually given me a lot of opportunities to attend some classical and strong meetings within China. And those are some of the rituals and representations. But no matter what, there's one thing important. Irrespective of where you are today, there are always people behind you. You will always have a backbone. So when I want to say acknowledgement, first, I would like to say thank you to the organization, to the organizers of this particular activity we have. Although we are not many, just about 30 and 40 of us among here, but it takes about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 organizations to come together and do this thing. So what if we are nations must be user authorized? This is the China Africa Economic and Trade Promotion Council. They make this all available for us. The day we came with Pablo here, we spent 5 hours waiting to secure this place. 5 hours to secure this place. That's that. Association of Nigerian Students in China, the Hunan chapter, with Pablo is our representative. Alliance of Overseas Talent, which is my own alliance with Mr. Dale, and the Hunan e-commerce company. Very soon, the Hunan company will have some discussion with us on their products, but something they need from us as a Nigerian. That is not there with all these things. This is my lab, this is my lab, my company, and everything, just to have this done. So I'd like to say thank you to all these organizers, Jago, the homemade, and everybody. And then, there are some things here that are a little bit strange to some of us. Most of us will not know what this is, right? Most of us will not know. But you and me should have heard of NSFC. This is the funding body that is funding research in China. The national one. Very competitive body, but has secured funding from them. So, or else, there will be nothing. My lab in Hunan University will not be existing. And this is China itself. These are all my schools. My master's school, my PhD school, and my working. the Hunan government, the Ministry of Science and Technology, and this is also my own lab group picture. This is the China, the China-Africa European trade. And then finally, I know a lot of us will have something to say. We have extended a lot of things about 30 minutes. I supposed to speak for about 40 minutes, but I now speak about 1 hour, 30 minutes. So, very sorry for the long talk. And after this section, we'd like to have a small break, and then we have our sponsor for today to have some introduction of the products. Then we open time for general discussions before we say goodbye for the host. So finally, I'm always one of those guys that is the fans of the China-Nigeria relationship. Forget about what it is. Every one of us has something to do. So I will leave the question section to the roundtable discussion. Okay? Thank you all. So let's have some tea break, okay? I know everyone's been tired of speaking. Very sorry for the long.
Stretch your legs.
There's a fruits and snacks by the wall.
I want my guys to move.
We had a disposable.
Disposable guinea. Disposable resin. Like a packet. You just take anything you want, job. You say disposable resin. But not understand my.
Nigerian time Kenya. This is not 3
My camera. My camera. He surprised me today. So they play, they go. It never happened before. Watch now, just watch for me. It never happened before. You understand? I don't clean that. I know like I'm doing wrong something, clean up. Oh, normally if you did dirty, you go update me, say my this did dirty. Oh, 60,000. Oh. Okay, oh, mosquito. Have fun. Too much. So how is the event going?
Actually, I think the event is a lot better than expected. Now the Prof being a very good job. I'm actually impressed. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Yeah. How is the event going?
Everything is going wonderfully, more than how
Okay.
Actually, we have to thank the organizers, the representatives, even the Chinese trade among them. We have to thank them. Insight, something we have to do for the future.
Thank you very
The
much.
next people coming to the Changsha, we say, we have to look into this. So we have to start learning so that we can work toward achieving successful.
Yeah. Just like a vlogger.
Yeah, exactly. Just like what you just
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Innocent. How is it going?
Yeah, it's doing well.
Yeah. So just tell us the past 1 hour. Just in about 2 minutes. Just tell us.
Actually, it's a forum that integrates you and tries to open you to things you should know and to be conscious about from the very beginning. How you should structure yourself and how you should be strategic with your things and when you come to China. You should not just be just come there for it, but you should be strategic, making strategic relationships, making strategic decisions, and having the vision and the focus, the end game in mind, so that with all those roadmaps, you can be able to consistently persevere to get to someone. So it's an eye-opener, and also getting to hear from somebody who has cracked the system. It's something you can.
I love that word. He has cracked the system. He has cracked the system. Cardinal, what do you have to say so far?
This has been so educating. Actually, such conferences are supposed to be held
Annually.
annually, not really annually. But for every new student that comes to China,
Orientation.
very, very
Okay.
I learned so much, and I think for Balogun, he's a perfect leader for us in China.
Thank you so much. Cardinal, I will use your phone capture them when they talk. Just snap them when they talk. If you come there for this side or the other side, come for this my side.
In all the
For this side.
in the international treatment business, always now that action, walking.
Face come out. What's stand for here? Cardinal, see this position where they? If this position, capture now. This place, we'll bring out in face. You get in face, man. I mean the front face. Just there, I mean face for front. Yeah, Engineer Ozo. So how is the pro?
I will take 30 minutes. As you can see, because of how impactful it is,
Yeah.
we're no longer bored.
I'm telling you.
So we can go on.
We can go on. Yeah. This is our leader, the man who has cracked the system. We are going to follow his lead. He has cracked the system. One key point from Innocent. Innocent says he has cracked the system. You must follow the lead. I'm telling you. Yeah. Thank you. Share. We'll take something now. Oh, the toilet. Yeah, go like this. Sorry. So we are now on tea break. So you can see delegates helping themselves during tea break. Prince, I don't know why that team did this thing.
2 minutes more, 2 minutes more. If you finish, you can return to your seat so that then we can continue this section. 2 minutes more. If you're pressed, the rest group is just closed. Yeah. Okay. We'll come to your seat so that we can proceed. We have just about 30 minutes more to run the day. We have the day right. Please, return to your seats. Break over. Go there. Go down. Thank you. Lord, you will bring them, please, return to your seats. Return to your seats. Come inside. Break is over. Take your seat, please.
Listen, I know what that thing is not bright. That my camera will bend. If you watch another stand up, the light can't come.
How many minutes remain? I think an hour.
No, just 30 minutes. Well, pressure no can't come again.
Sit down or
Yeah, we are sitting down.
Oh, I could say you take our seat.
No. Take your seat. Okay.
Honorable boss.
Leave me. Leave which they make come. Please take your seats. Please. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Next stage is for Ms. Xu, the Executive CEO of Jiazhou E-commerce platform. Let's welcome. All fellow Nigerian friends, I warmly welcome you to the Scouting Market and this demonstration park, the Parallel Exhibition Hall, and welcome to the Jiazhou E-commerce company.
作为加州今天的这些 CEO， 也作为这次我们承办方的这样一个代表，下面呢由我来给大家讲解一下我们加州的故事。
As the representative and the executive CEO of Jiazhou E-commerce platform, I would like to introduce my company, Jiazhou.
我们加州从成立到现在已经走了5年的旅程，今年呢是第6个年头。我们主要涉及的业务就是在非洲，我们自建海外仓储，然后搭建最后1公里快速的团队。
Our company was founded 6 years ago. In the last 5 years, our major business was to build cross-border e-commerce business for Africa and China. And we built our own storage warehouses in Africa. And also we covered the last 1 kilometer delivery service.
我们目前为止在5个国家的落地有加纳、安哥拉、肯尼亚、卡麦隆跟坦桑尼亚。
Currently, we have covered 5 countries in Africa. They are Ghana, Angola, Kenya, Tanzania, and Cameroon.
那我们主要做的业务模型是我们在非洲不断的去建立海外仓储，通过分拣的形式，把每个客户需要的产品送到非洲人的手里面，跟家庭门口。
Our major business pattern is to build the overseas warehouse in the country and cover the 1 last kilometer delivery to send our products to our customer by the door of them.
那我们国内主要的业务呢，我们坐落于这一共的4层，也是刚才各位参观的我们的公司。我们主要的业务就是来告诉所有的中国的创业者，在中国用轻资产如何做中非跨境电商。
And our business pattern within China is, as you have seen on the first floor, that we teach all the startups or the very early age entrepreneurs to start their business on the e-commerce platform to build their own empire.
因此，我们公司的愿景就是共筑中非美好生活与未来。
So our vision is quite clear: is that we not only ourselves but also help others to build the business world between China and Africa.
简单的来说，我们就是把中国的产品在非洲需要人的一个所有的物种的全链路的基础上，我们把中国的产品卖到非洲人的手里，来解决所有的互联网以及互联网的全路径。
Let me make it simple. Our business is about we offer all the products from China to Africa and help our entrepreneurs to build the logistics supply chain with the digital information platform so that they can make business easier and faster.
在经过我们全路径的试验，包括全部跑通，至今为止，我们在海外仓跟电商的贸易上，我们准备在8月份初正式开启我们加州的双边贸易段。
Okay. So according to our accumulated experience for the last 5 years, we have made so many successful cases that our Jiazhou e-commerce platform will be initiated in August this year.
因此，在我们逐步前行的旅程中，我们也需要大量的人才来到加州，共同来我们搭建我们彼此的中非梦。
Which means for the next phase of development, we're going to need more talents from both China and Africa to build a bigger business world.
那未来在我们的中非的基础上，除了我们在电商海外仓派送环节的所有的搭建以外，我们也会做出自己的爱国平台。
Except for the e-commerce and logistics service in China and Africa, we have built so far. We're going to have our own application on smartphones.
简单的来说，我们公司的目标 标就是把我们中国版的京东、菜鸟驿站及淘宝融合在一起，在非洲的首都及经济带中心遍布。
To make it simple, we're trying to build a capacity of Jingdong Taobao and also the delivery logistics system in China, which you can see and use every day, as one-stop service application and make it into useful for all countries.
我们直随非洲的所有的经贸，因为我们看重非洲的市场，在未来非洲万亿级的蓝海市场，我觉得我们彼此都有很大的机会去创造。
The reason why we devoted so much and built so much business in the past 5 years between China and Africa is that we know the future is coming, and the future is coming from China and Africa. We know that this is a multi-trillion business scale.
唐教授是我们加州很重要的朋友，我们也感谢唐教授对我们加州的抬爱。因此呢，通过这一场活动，我们加州呢向所有在场的尼日利亚同胞招募，如果对我们的非洲的创业感兴趣，对我们的中非经贸感兴趣，那协助我们加州，我们都可以帮到每一位伙伴。
Professor Balogun is a very important friend of Jiajiu e-commerce platform. That because of his approach, that we can meet so many talented Nigerian friends. And in the future, I would like to say that we're grateful for his help, but also I would like to enroll more Nigerian friends for the future who would like to build their own business or e-commerce on the platform. You are always welcome to Jiajiu. We're open for cooperation.
那我们现在呢，也是在跟我们非洲的孔子学院的负责人达成了我们所有的链路推进。那未来在我们的 APP 出台，也许我们会在孔子学院的搭建上，在非洲建立我们的孔子学院下属的电商平台。
As we all know, you are learning Chinese in China, but overseas, Confucian Academy is quite important platform for Chinese culture spreading and communication. Now we have our bonding with the Confucian Academies in Africa, which means in the next phase, we're going to have our e-commerce academy belonging to the Confucian Academy in African countries, which means if you can speak Chinese, you're going to have more opportunities from this platform as well.
简单的来说，我们预计在2027年开启我们非洲孔子学院的电商的专业平台。
In a word, we're going to start a major in the e-commerce academy of Confucius Academy in Africa, and we're going to open for more positions for talents.
例如，今天在座的各位同胞，如果你们有机会携手我们的加州来学习我们所有的中非电商，那有可能在我们的人才计划招揽中，未来有可能我们建立更长远、更深度的合作。
For example, like all the talents today, if you're really interested in the e-commerce of Jiajiu platform and you want to build your own business, you are welcome to get enrolled, and we will teach you about the things you need to do, and in the future, you might be the first group of the talents of the e-commerce platform of this China-Africa relationship.
共筑中非梦是我们彼此的责任，也是我们彼此的一个事业所在。因此，我现在很有目标的跟各位讲，我觉得做我们的中非经贸，它不仅是一个生意，更多的是一个事业跟使命。
Helping the relationship between China and Africa is not only a dream, but also it's quite an opportunity for business. And also, if we move it up to a next level, is that we can pursue our own value and the personal ambitions in the future on this platform.
首先，在我创业生涯的将近20年的里程碑里面，那下一个最后的未来的10年甚至更久，都会带领加州、带领我们的公司直随中非经贸事业。
I've been in this business world for over 20 years. In my next 10 years, our goal and my personal goal is quite clear. Is about the China-Africa business. So we're going to devote so much into it that we welcome you to.
也希望更多的我们的在场的尼日利亚同胞，携手我们的加州，我们共创未来，让非洲与我们中国与我们加州一起来完成中非梦与美好生活。
And I hope that together hand in hand in the future on the platform of this China-Africa economic trade relationship and also on the platform of e-commerce. We welcome you together. We become partners. We help this relationship escalate to the next level.
最后，通过我们的加州来，我们感召在座的各位，希望各位成为加州的朋友、伙伴、合伙人，以至于我们源远流长的肩并肩的背靠人。
And here I warmly welcome you to become the friends, partners, and in the future, maybe you can become something more of this China-Africa relationship. And we are expecting more future from our cooperation.
那最后，祝今天我们的活动圆满成功，也祝唐教授及唐教授所有的伙伴们在中国的生活当中美好幸福每一天。
And in the end, I wish a great success to this great project of this farewell for Nigerian graduates. And also I wish the best wishes to Professor Balogun and everyone in person. I hope you all have a good life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, the next part is about the discussion. Whether you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and we have some people here to answer, or we can discuss. Yeah. Please.
We actually are having this roundtable discussion, which is, I think, some of us will have some questions to ask. And here we are. Hamza is just a plus. It's just there to make up the table. Okay, on my right is Professor Go. He is actually a very strong professor in his world of business. He spent 10 years in the university before coming out fully into business. And right now he's having very strong collaboration with some countries in Africa, especially Ghana. So, from his angle as a Chinese, and having gotten relationship with China, and beside me, he's actually in Nigerian. He's bachelor in Nigerian, master's in Nigerian, in Turkey. In India, you can see PhD in Nigeria, master's in India, PhD in Turkey, postdoc in China. So I plan to invite him here because I believe we have seen this different world, not for just 1 to 3 years. Myself, okay? And this is one of the executive directors of Jajo Company. So if you have any questions related to any of these, you can ask us, and that is why we are here for you today. Thank you.
You can use the microphone, just tap it on, it's working. If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand and use the microphone now. But before, I would like to invite
see the way you sit, because of the own second. I thought you are going to sit down there soon.
He has so much experience, as far as I know. He
thanks. And this is something I'm very glad to join this gathering. I get very happy to hear from Professor Muhammad Kanje. Okay, and I graduated from a University, 1982. And 10 years teacher, professor in the Townside University of Science and Technology. And then in the National Business Bank, till now, it's about 75 years. And since the 2870, my majority lies in Africa, West Africa, Ghana. So here, everybody will stay here from Nigeria. You're talent, okay? And if you have any idea about the business, international business, we can conversation discuss. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Any questions? Of course, everybody has questions. Yes. Please. That's what we love most in Nigeria.
Professor Balogun said he has been into business for a very long time, and I really want to understand his area of business, because I know business is really very broad. If you can narrow it down to his own particular specialization of area of business, so I can do that.
Okay. I say that 3 points. Because of time, this is 3 points. And I actually have 100 students from African countries, okay? 8% better than businessmen. Okay? So I suggested that first, you define your classmates and your relationship in your mother to keep the connection. Okay? So find some opportunity first. I say the first settle in all the business, and the second, for the business, you have to now in the information society, you need to set up a group. Okay, don't find your classmate or your friend, set up a group here. And at the same time, I said your business is not in Nigeria, also not in China. That's in between the China and Nigeria. But think about what's the between. Because the business generally is China. So what can is China? Okay, that's the second. And the third, by my understanding, so many years I to that, okay, I never been Nigerian. I suggest that to your country, the Africa, the 54 countries, at least 50 countries, the major requirement is food. First, food, eating. And second is housing. Okay, that's major majority. But there are others. And I still suggested to the new teams of the Canada that to developing function, ability of industry. So industrialization in Nigeria is basically requirement. So the industrial field and the line is so wide ranges, from high tech to agricultural industry. So you can find anything. If you study a different line, you find anything for the family, the friend, any kind. From one point, one kind of products, and in not lines, step by step. In just now, the Professor Kanje said a very good speech at Medicine University. I studied in university 10 years. I understand that the business is not starting in university, different. So I suggest you to learn more. Learn what? Other book. Every can products introduction will be your book. Any product you buy anything have some introduction. Okay? That's it. You have to read carefully. and understand every detail. So one kind of study, so the lines, for studying in the university, one kind is Science, merchandise, merchandise, all merchandise. You also all these merchandise. Like I told you, the air, they are useful, no water. Everyone learning to pay. Okay? Like diamond, no use, no meaning, but very expensive. That means what? That means merchandise and market. You want to understand many details about this one. From merchandise, from commercial products to exchange. That's it. Furthermore, it's about project of construction or others. Like you country so big, and the north and south is different, and you need a lot of project. Okay, you're very fortunate. Fortunately, that you have a good country and you have a good big opportunity. Okay.
Any questions?
Just pass the microphone and ask a question. It's fine. Let's make it casual.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My question is, based on what you just asked, your area of business, like for instance, maybe you are into clothing, or as in you are into clothing. For instance, maybe I want to go into clothing, I want to be buying different types of products, and different type of clothing. And when you supply it to me in my country, for instance, I have to sell, then get back the this thing. I have to transact at the end and get my profit. Then what I need to remit back to you. So I want you to be specific so that I'll have a knowledge of the area of business that you're talking about.
Like the people's use like a clothes, okay, account. And you try to establish a business for account. I suggest that you not so easy because of too much people from the five from other country to China to buy, okay. And same time, the China the account is either for two organizations. So the capacity is very big. I suggest you that for the government, like not saying like everything, you first if you have all, because you go to your friend ask you to buy something, you can do otherwise cannot. How can you developing the close business? And I suggest you to understand more details about how to make in the government. Then introduce the Chinese manufacturer to go to your country, to your home house, to set up the Vietnam. This is new change from last year to the next, I think 5 years. The more Chinese capacity into the area. That's the opportunity. The government said, others said, and something is sensitive like a pandemic. Maybe there's some trouble with the environment. Obviously, no problem. I suggest you, I give some suggestions. 3 lines is good. One is for the food industry. Food industry is not only say that the rice or the cassava or the soy. Okay. To be enough snacks, not snacks. Okay, that's good business. And the second, around the order for the car, because Africans mainly transportation by the road, not a rail, not train. Even the rail, only so the more car we run. So around the car is a very long links of industry. You don't find a lot of them. I do the example, Hunan, Japan, only for domestic for inside of the car. Every year the volume for traffic is about in China, only one manufacturer, about 4.7 billion RMB volume. Okay, and this one. And the third, your country, generally, like Nigeria, I don't think I say, but I heard from my friend, just some people very, very rich. The money too much, don't know how to use it. Don't know how to use it. Why? Why? If you are Chinese, you hold one big doors. Okay. You'll never kick in the back. Oh, I think not. You will invest. I thought so. Why do we make invest? But in the Nigerian, because every day to buy the land to get more white. Okay, that's why you have no fundamental confidence. So I suggested always now. So now the next 5 years for everybody here, you have a chance to introduce the Chinese capacity of industry. And generally I say that 3 line. First, that's the installation line. Also, that's the one line. And the second, manufacturing line. On the more high, from the design to the end, to the products. Okay? And I touched the 2 manufacturing is automobile manufacturing. Very often we talk each other is only installation. Like Nigerian and the youth business. Maybe one day when we start one out also okay? Your country have the leader. You have. I know that. You can make the batteries. Okay? The battery is the near future is 2 years to invest. Okay? So I suggest that you in the China, you will not only the cost, look for some very small business. You have no money so to start up from small business. Yes, I agree. But if you can choose your highbrows, high intelligence, you will find some big opportunity for yourself.
Okay, please can we collaborate with your e-commerce team? The e-commerce team, the question goes to another person.
他说怎么样的公司可以开始做？我翻译，说翻译。
现在我们是这样的，我们现在是做的非洲的2C，就是做的零售，做的他们生成手机的这些用户。如果是当地有好的产品，我们也可以双边贸易。我们现在做的就是怎么样把我们的中国制造带给非洲用户。然后的话，如果非洲有好的品类，我们双边贸易都给大家合作。
他的意思是个人，比如说现在你们公司做电商，是吧？那么个人是，假如说要跟你们合作，怎么做方法？
个人的话，我们现在是属于这种就是孵化平台，就是带领大家做我们的这种跨境电商开店的形式。
You mentioned that generally this I'll say that please platform we economy, okay, and your owner, the person, or your owner in private company, or your platform, very easy to get a cooperation with you because you come from Africa, and your company will here, or your Nigerian, the both you can do. You're not doing business family where we go to network on any kind of model or the ratio, rather than going to the company. Okay? So what you need, what you try to sell or buy, also can connect the cooperation with you.
我说你过来想买什么卖什么，都听你的品牌。
对，还有一个，如果在非洲当地有这种团队或者是厂，我们都可以来打广告。
cooperation with you.
Okay, as the says, Nigerian Student Association. So the actual thing that I mean is that can some of us come here and be trained on their e-commerce business?
You just said as an association, right?
Yeah.
You chamber. 再就是说，因为现在就是我们现在刚讲是服务业，当然也有服务业的，也有一些学生的。其实这些学生有没有一个就是跟你们去做现场，有没有一个可以到我们公司来做一些培训啊、学习啊，他们是需要什么样的条件？
我们现在跟这些昨天才从这个校企合作才回来，我们不是有这种实习的，是吧？有各个板块的短视频、直播，还有这个拍摄节，我们都可以有深入的一个合作交流都可以。
那成本
啊？实习不是。
Yeah, actually, this kind of opportunity for us now, and ranging from on how to do online live shows and like that, and it's free, but it has to have some level of signing some contract like that. It's free. That's what it's possible. Including meal. Even when you come for the training, meal is free. Yeah. Meal is free. Okay. Free.
Just come and learn.
I have a question. I'm curious to know how you've been outside China and how you have managed to live in different countries so far.
Okay. Actually, so you mean that you need to know my history?
Yes, how long have you been outside Nigeria?
Okay. Actually, I graduated from Bayer University, Kano, in 2011, and after that I did my national service in Jigawa, government secondary school. So immediately after that, after my graduation, after I finished my studies, then I was thinking about which profession should I go for? Should I go for the industry, or should I join a sector? So what I realized, then I did my industrial training at Balogun, Nigeria. It's like they produce aerosols, so this kind of things. Then I was thinking of getting, because one of the managers has promised me after I graduated. So and I really think of working at the company is not easy. Like you have to be there in the morning till afternoon, and if I find out the money also they are paying is not that much. So then I begin to think of which area should it be suited for my needs. So then I realized that maybe in academics you have because at the company we don't have your free time. So then I think of okay, because I have noticed how those professors and they are doing in academics. You have your free time. You can do a lot of things during your free time. Then I think of academics. So at that time, I told my parents that I want to do masters. Then my father was really encouraging. Then I got admission at lovely professional university, Punjab, where I went there. So I did my master's from 2012 to 2014. So after that, I just focused on my studies. I don't have, but although I do some other business, because at that time, when I planned to visit my country, I used to buy some clothes, shoes, a lot of things. And with that money, I used to, even with that, the profit I gained from that, that clothes or that shoes, I can, it is equivalent to the money that I have bought the ticket. So I started doing that. So immediately after I completed my master's in 2012, and I have no any decision of staying in another country. I just want to finish and go back to my country. Although there are a lot of opportunities in India, but I don't want to use that. I just want to finish and go back to my country. So after that, when I go back to my country, I got an appointment in the agricultural university, College of Agricultural. It's a college of agricultural, it's a college for agri studies only. So they offer diploma, HND, like that. So I started working immediately. Federal University of Science and Technology post for the positions, and I applied. Immediately, I also got selected. So I was employed as assistant lecturer at that university in 2016. So when I went there, I realized that actually, if you are in the university, you need to have PhD. If you don't have PhD, so you are just there as supporting staff. So then I was thinking of, okay, so what is next? If I really want to stay in academics, I need to have a PhD. So at that time, I was like, in the university, we have this TED fund that are sponsoring for academic staff development. So, when I think of that, so what happens at that time, if you want to apply for that TED fund scholarship, you need to, there is a long queue you need to follow before you get that. So at that time, I applied. When I checked the list, I find out I was in the list in the 23rd position. So then I calculated, before it reached to me, I have to spend more 3 years. Then I start to think about it. I said, okay, 3 years. Then I start to look for some other opportunities. Scholarship, like other scholarships. So I have a friend who is a student at Iraq University. So I told him there is a professor, he wanted to have a student from Nigeria, but without stipend. You have to, you need to sponsor, you need to take care of yourself with the feeding and accommodation. So he asked me if I can accept his offer. Then I said, then it's fine. So one of the professors in my university called me and told me that to go because he knows the situation of studying abroad without support or without scholarship. Then I said, okay, and I talked to my father about it. Then he said, I think since you have your salary, you are not married, and within 3 years you can finish. So I think it's a good offer since you can take care of your research funding and everything. So then I decided to go. I went in 2017. So 2017 I was there in December. So and also what happened when I went, my professor, I have a very nice professor who is encouraging and motivated. So I started within the first, I think 1 year, I was lucky to publish one article. So it goes on like that, and it happens to me in 2002. I lost my father during this Corona period. So I was there. I was really at my lowest point, and I lost more than 70% of my sleep. I cannot defend it. So at that time, my professor advised me to focus more on my studies, to do something that that will really change my life. So what happened? I was not be able to sleep sometimes. So what I have one thing. When I was hungry on something, I used to transfer all my energy to something that will make me easy, so that I will not have time to think about other things. So at that time, my professor really encourages me, and I focus more on my research. I transfer all my energy to the research. Okay? And I was able to publish my articles in that So after that, I finished my PhD in 2021. And at that time, I said that I'm not going I have to go back to my country, and I don't have any plan of going out of the country. So when I go back to my country, when I see the situation there, the research situation, and also most important, the financial situation, I find that the salary is not enough. There are a lot of problems. I have to take care of my family, my wife, and my child. Then I think of other opportunities. So I applied, and I was selected at Hunan University. Then I said, okay, this is a good opportunity for me. Then I joined it. And I'm happy to be in China because I have seen a lot of opportunities.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next question, anybody? Okay, Dr. Innocent, PhD.
The question is for those of us who like to continue in academics, right? So, you being someone who has practiced the system, I would say, the question is, how do you advise us to going for further pursuit of postdoctoral research opportunities or even postdoctoral fellowships? So, what kind of guidance do you do, and how can we also fast track the processes and see what we can get out of it based on also our own expertise and skills area and other things? Thank you.
In addition, because I noticed there is no time for us to be discussing about issues. So I want to ask this question, because my question will also go back to you. So maybe we can, holistically discuss about it. Then coupled with the age limit and age cap in China nowadays, how do you also how does that affect you during your own time, or is it that in recent time they implemented those age limits? Because it's NSF for age period, NSF for you're talking is NSF you are talking about. If you are above 55 years, you cannot apply for it. And couple your time, bachelor and HMD, I know definitely you must have been over 35 years before you got those opportunities. In China, longer time and with this kind of policies, it makes it just get stigma, and so please. And in addition to that question, I also noticed that you have a layers of overseas students in Hunan too. So what you also in contribute and also bringing them from Nigeria. There are also some from Nigeria who are also academic academic to want to come out. And how is your lab at them to come over?
All right. Thank you so much. Two questions and new doctors in hand. This is a question that I can answer in 3 hours, but I have to answer in a few minutes. But I will make some key points, and I will believe we still have for the extension discussion of that after, please. 1, age. Everything was that fortunate for me. I completed completed my PhD at 34. So the age limit is 35. So I escaped that point. So by the time I completed my postdoc, I'm already 36. So even if I decide to do another postdoc, it cannot work because I was already 36 then. So you said something about my age throughout this thing. I'm a little bit fortunate, like my age did not actually go directly. Very early when I was young, I only studied my primary school to primary 3. I didn't study 4, 5, 6, and I was, that one is not the mistake, promotion to GS1. So those age was covered back during my YFC period. So everything was a little bit favorable back those times. So by the time I completed my bachelor, I'm 26. So came to China, 2 years Chinese, 3 years masters, 3 years PhD, and 3 years postdoc. 10, that's 36. So I got a job immediately. So I finished my PhD at 34, so I escaped that problem. But currently there is an avenue for that. So that will answer your question. Once you are 35, or once you are 36, the day you clock 36, you are no more qualified for postdoc in China. But there are overage postdoc in every university. But they will not bring out that news for you if you don't have a strong relationship with the people in it. For example, yesterday, I have a friend that was asking me the same problem. So I had them to send me for my CV. The guy is currently in Malaysia. He's more than 30, he's already 37, 38. And I messaged, because that guy was telling me, okay, yeah, she finished her PhD in March and is in chemistry. So I sent a message to my college HR asking that is the postdoc exemption slots available now? Then he told me yes. So I'm going to tell that guy, he's 38, but he can apply. But that application is not, number one thing is that I know that is happening in my college. Your professor currently may not know in your school, but you can tell him that exists. So let him, if you are in good relationship with him, then he will stand for you, go to the college school HR or college HR and request for the necessary requirement for that. So more than age can do postdoc, but on an exemption purposes. So, but you have to make up that relationship. For my school, is just like, my school rule says that for every 5 regular postdoc in one college, they will be given an exemption slot. The exemption includes overage, those people that are actually working. You might be working in a company, but you can come for part-time postdoc. Have you ever heard of part-time postdoc? Yeah, you might come, those are exemption. And there's also some other one, part-time postdoc, age exemption, and one more other conditions for that, like that. So those are the exemptions. So that exemption is always related to the professor and the school rules. You just have to know. But I'm sure what we are using in Hunan University is different from Center South. Some schools don't have that rule. It's only like when the professor is ready that I want you, then he will do all the processes for that. So, related to the fact that if you want to go into academics right now, this is what I would advise. 1, job in academics without postdoc now, nearly in fact in the whole world, is actually no way to go. You must have a postdoc. Now let's assume you are more than the age. For example, in China, you can solve that problem by that relationship. But outside China, they don't care. Age limit is not a problem in China. But because you want to continue your deals and other relationship in China, then you can facilitate that route for the postdoc. So that by the time you spend first postdoc, the only one thing you just look for, just one thing. Postdoc, publications. Publications. That is the only the shortest route to get a job in China. To get a job in Chinese institutions. So when you get there, then other conditions can come in. So to facilitate that, it's something that is not difficult, but your PhD professor got a lot of work to do. So that is why that relationship is the first thing, like you said. There is no way you are going without a relationship. So academics, postdoc is very important. And in China, 40 is actually the most age to get your first job in institution. So, number two, there's one more other thing that we have to do. We have to work on laws on the internet to start. Don't care about schools. There are a lot of schools in China that are offering jobs to people. But the conditions, you won't say they are high, you won't say they are low, but until you never stop applying. That is when, just like when I was applying for PhD, I have to go to the 35 universities website, applying one time. It cost me 2 nights on the internet, overnight. Keep applying, sending relevant messages, that. Those are part of those things that are going to explain. And the same thing is applicable for jobs as well. So if you are not ready to go, there are some schools, they won't tell you they are looking for people. But get their HR, mail them. They will see and they will consider. I've seen a lot of people that got jobs like that. A lot of Pakistani Indians, like that, they used to have that opportunity. They give themselves a lot of information. A lot of information. They have a group. That is why I want to encourage Pablo and we should. We shouldn't just have a group just to be posting what we are selling. That is why a lot of people, you will not see me in many groups. Because we say, okay, Nigerians in Changsha. Then what you'll be seeing there is, I'm selling food, I'm selling this, I'm selling that. If it is commercial, let's put it, commercial group for Nigerians in Changsha. There is no problem with that. You understand what I'm saying? So, those guys, these Pakistanis, these Indians, they have a group that they only post job opportunities, talent opportunities. That is what they do. But I never see that for us. So that is something that we really need to go, because there are a lot of job opportunities that when people now know you for that, they will be sending you. So but it's something that we can work on recently, and we'll share more lines on that. And you mentioned something about our alliance. That is what our alliance is trying to focus on. Although this alliance at this point is still at the people's level, we have not registered it officially, because if you have to register officially in China, it has to be an association. When it's an association, it has to be led by probably somebody from here, and it practically change the taste of where we are focusing on. So we try to limit, but use other forces to promote ourselves for better visibility. So that is what the alliance is actually. When we funded this, we put basically for PhD graduates, and then so postdocs, everybody wonders like that. But now we're trying also to extend this opportunity to, I want to found AOOT Nigerian chapter, because now it's for the whole, especially in China. But I want to extend it to the Nigerian chapter. The reason why I haven't done that is because I just don't want to do without any further information. I want to have a 1 year plan. So when we start, we have something doing like that. Not just forming names because of looking for titles and like that. I like to do something that will be active. So that is what that actually it's all about. And it's progressive. It's about 2 or 3 years now. We have done a lot of different activities related to health, eye health, traffic. Now we are going to, the next plan we are having is on insurance, but that is for AOT at large. We are going into insurance. How do you secure your insurance in China? What kind of insurance should you even have that's affordable or like that? A lot of us don't know that. A lot of us don't know that when you get sick, you can actually buy insurance that can take care of your hospital bills. in China, and they are very easy to do. I buy insurance for my wife, I bought for my kids. Apart from that, all I have to pay every year is just about 500 RMB each for them. Although we are not planning for sicknesses, but if any sicknesses comes and it's worth anything less than 50,000 or 100,000, they will get me. I pay 500 RMB every month, every year. Which is actually something we can do. We get one stipend and then you secure yourself beyond the school insurance. So these are also the things that Alliance is also facilitating. Like that.
Who else? Any other question?
What I would suggest now is actually, due to the time we started late, we plan to I spend more time than expectation, so that might affect this whole thing and the first approach. We didn't actually, because it was a short decision, we are going to for example, dinner like that. But before we go, I would like us to do two things. Now, one is we should have a closing remark, and we'll introduce okay, you have a question? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the meeting and everything. The question actually is, what is the opportunity of getting a sustainable job here and within the time frame of studies here? What are the chances of getting a part-time job here while studying, since some of us are not on scholarship?
Okay, that's very easy to answer. I said that no one says that students cannot work in China while studying. There is no law like that in China. But your school have the authority to make that law on their students. That is what happens in everywhere. Chinese law did not say students cannot work. But the authority of your school can stop you from doing that. That is accepted. So that is what happened. Because you only get information from your school. So how do you get that? That talks about excellence. If you are a student and you want to work in the school, let that school go to the immigration office to bring out that law and say that you can work, but there is limited hours accordingly. Exactly in the US as well. The number of hours you can work there, they have exactly the same. It is the place you are working that's supposed to go out and bring that law and bring it to your school. Your school cannot stop you. Cannot stop them because they are talking about the law. This person can work, this is the law, we have talked to the immigration officer like that. But most working places will not do that. Especially schools, because they will tell you how much are they making that they have to do. Because everything is also relationships. It takes some things for you to bring out those information from where they are and present it to the school. So that is what. So it's all about just teaching and things like that. Whether you are teaching or you are not teaching, the school is growing. So it has no effect on that. So when he wants to get a job in any place and he said he wants you, tell them that foreigners can work, but they cannot allow them. Please, whatever organization, can you go to the immigration and request for this? If they can, then they know what to do to come back to the school. They will get information. There will be official signing. You sign the number of hours you have of school, like that. We have 2 to 3 people that did that in my university, and they succeeded. It will not. It will not. It will not. It depends. That's what I'm saying. You don't fight with your school. They know what to do. You just have to build that relationship now with them. You have to be able to speak for yourself. It's not about fight issue. They want to get you a job. This company wants to get you a job now, but I experience. Okay, no problem. They go to the immigration office. For that, then they come with that. They know what to do. They send that into your school. Your school cannot disrespect them. Because you have something quality to offer. It's an advantage for the school. You understand? It's an advantage for the school. So once you have such an opportunity, Once the company is ready to come out for you, then it's easy. The school will come to you and ask you, how is everything okay, like that. We have few people like that in our university. The school cannot get you arrested or get you caught. It's only the law that can catch you on that, like the immigration or the policeman. Then you, of course, will be punished based on the law of the existing, of the person, of the police or something like that. No, it is. What I'm saying is that there is no law that says you should not work. But there is a law that says you should not work illegally. Okay, that's what I did not emphasize. When illegally, if you just go now and get a job in their place, it's illegal. But once they go to the immigration office to bring that, then you are working legally. Because there is a limit of hours every week like that you should work. So that's what I'm saying. That's the point. Illegally and legally and
okay, you just cleared the point because at the end of every session in Hunan, in the school, they usually give us a notice, which I usually call Prof number 7. It says that during the holiday, no illegal employment. That when you are caught, you will be dealt with. So that Prof 7 is always in my mind.
No what? Illegal employment. They make it legal. That's the point. That's why they didn't say no working. They said no illegal. So that means there is room for legal employment. It's just to understand.
Just for reference, arbitrator from the university, only close to the graduate from the university. The one part-time is legal. Second, training is legal. The training, two ways. One, is okay. Second, give some training time. And the third, investment is legal. And the third, the cooperation with the investor. I said the investor is not China.
There are a lot of ways that things are being. The problem is that we got information from ourselves. That's the problem. You understand? We got information from ourselves. Like, okay, I'm the first person to come in. So I said, we are not allowed to work illegally in China. I will not explain. When you get that information from me first, then the next person will say, oh, they are not allowed to work in China. You have been moved illegally. So the information, and we all carry information that is not existing. I told some of my friends that know me, I've seen someone in my presence, arguing in my presence, that there is no way, you can never get a job in Chinese universities, and I was there. And he was arguing with the person beside me. A Nigerian, for that matter. He has been in Changsha for 10 years. I just came to Changsha that 1 year. And he happens to know that they are together like that and that. So the guy told me, let's introduce me. So when we were like that, let's talk to me. After, before introduction, he was just saying, so I told my guy that, then I joined the discussion like, oh yeah, you can never get it.
Okay, finally. Okay, apart from teaching, I'm teaching English thereabout. Which other jobs that can the students do around here?
A lot. You can work as a, for example, this is an e-commerce company. They can employ you officially as a person who is in government. Yeah, you know, part-time, yeah. Any job a student can do while studying is part-time. You cannot do a full-time job while studying. Everything is part-time. Yeah, a lot. Yeah. There's room for that. The exact rule I'm not sure completely, but I know there is. I've seen people around me that utilize it. because this building itself, I mean, we have time limit to 6 o'clock or something. So what I will encourage now is that two things first, please, we are very sorry. There are a lot of questions I know we all have, but we can create more platform and room for that. What we do now is two things, please. One, we have a closing remark. We call one of the students, Hamza, to come and give us a closing remark. 2 minutes, just 2 minutes for the closing remark. Then after that, we take a quick picture before we say goodbye. Please, we hope to have more of this kind of time next time. Yeah, you can go.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I will start by appreciating the convener of this little gathering, the person of Mr. Pablo, for giving fit to bring the Nigerian students from nooks and crannies of Hunan University, and also the institution that helped to make this gathering a successful one. And also, I want to chip in because so many students have been trying to make something like this, but it's quite failed at the end of the day. So I think with our student here, I would like to suggest why not we hand over the responsibilities to our able and capable professor to pilot the ideas of this organization in such a way that we will also benefit from his work of experience, collaborations, and partnership with so many relevant Chinese institutions. And also on a final note, permit me to put to rest the word of Prophet Emerson that I quote, that honorable things are not done by diplomatic fellows, but by men like our professor that are not afraid of boundaries of elevation itself. That is men who aspire to acquire a certain desire. They never retire, instead they retire until they achieve their ultimate desire. So we pray, sir, may you never retire, instead they retire until you achieve your ultimate desire. And just want to appreciate you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for coming. Final group picture.
Wajah, aku uji saya.
Let me check. Rapolo, use your phone, check something like this. Smoke, you see how the thing there now. Yeah. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. How was it? How was the event?
Fantabulous.
How was the event, sir?
Okay, I was very good.
Okay.
Of course.
How was the event?
Oh, man. Very, very good.
And Engineer Dallas, how was the event? How was the event? Did the aka like this? Sharon, how was the event? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, use that Saraplo, check that picture. Let me see. Huh? I won't stop my this thing. Tell me this thing. How did you do this thing again?
How did you want to close on?
I won't close on. I won't stop.
You don't finish now.